Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and today we're going to be looking at a Kubota MX5400. Now, you regulars know that I've been going to every brand of dealership that I can get access to and making comparisons on tractors in the 50 to 60 horsepower range with similar capabilities. And we're looking at all the capabilities, the features, the ergonomics, the company overview, dealer network, price, the whole ball of wax. And I have yet to cover Kubota, so that's what we're doing today. And we're going to compare that with the models we've already looked at from Coyote, TYM, LS, and John Deere. So this Kubota is a simple machine, and it's a little bit more expensive. It's quite a bit more expensive than the other models I talked about. And there's just no getting around that. So when it comes to Kubota, what you are buying from them is their reputation, a well-earned reputation for the fact that their machines just don't break down very much. So I don't say that lightly. I talk to people every day about tractors. I get comments, I get emails, people call me, and then I read all that and I try to soak it in and take it into account. And I would say that Kubota has the highest customer satisfaction and the fewest complaints about their machines breaking down or anything like that. So they've earned a little bit of the right to price that in. The other reason that you're paying more is that they engineer the entire tractor from the ground up, and that's where the reliability comes from. From the engine to the axle to the transmission, the entire machine is designed and built by Kubota. So let's take a walk around it and compare it to these other machines. All right, as we start at the front, I guess we'll start with the tires. This is the exact same size of tire that was on the Coyote and the TYM, with the LS being one little size smaller. However, the front tires are dramatically bigger. I mean, the other machines, those tires are probably about this tall. This is taller and wider. It's got a really heavy front axle. One thing I've pointed out on some other machines, I like it when the loader frame is reinforced up under the axles. And not only do they do that, but they do it really heavy duty. Now, one thing I didn't really understand about Kubota model numbers is that the loader number gives you an indication of the lift capacity, but basically you double that and that will give you a pretty good guess at what it can lift. So you're talking about 21 to 2,200 pounds. It's of course a removable loader with the skid steer quick attach, which is standard for everyone but John Deere. Now this model is an economy model tractor. If you wanted the same tractor with premium features, you'd be in an L series. As a point of reference for the 2,200 pound lift capacity on this loader, every other model I've looked at has at least 2,700 pounds of listed lift capacity on the loader. So Kubota's lagging short in what you can pick up. The dealer also pointed out that the loader on the Kubota is one solid piece of tubing, whereas most of the other brands have plates of steel welded together. And so you've got to try to find quality differences like that. So as you walk around the tractor, and especially once we climb up in the operator station, you're going to see this is a very basic machine, very simple. It does have these that I always look for, the telescoping stabilizers, the extendable draft arms. It does not have a lever here to raise and lower your 3-point, which is something I really like to have. It does have a hingeable guard over the PTO. I'm a big fan of that, and none of the other tractors I looked at had it. This does not come standard with rear remotes, although you can add them. They've got a little toolbox here, which you actually don't see on most of them. So as you step up into the operator station, first thing you'll notice is there are not a bunch of extra controls here. Like when I got on the Coyote, there was an entire array of controls here that were load management and cruise control and draft control, like auto or manual PTO. There were a lot of different things that this machine doesn't have. One thing I do really like that is a control those machines didn't have is a very large manual cruise control. Right there is your cruise control, which is a nice feature. Then we've got the 3-range transmission, got your lights here. looks like some regen options and the PTO switch right here. Of course, your throttle. And then we've got the always controversial treadle pedal. Some people love it, some people hate it. Personally, I prefer the two pedals, but that's probably just because it's what I'm used to. My friend Brad drives his, uses his Kubota every day and says he would never switch from the treadle pedal. But that's going to be personal preference. So outside of that, we've got the throttle here, your loader joystick, and PTO knob. And that is all the controls that this has in the operator station. Now, on this tractor right here, our rear lift capacity is 2,800 pounds, and the front is 2,300. Now, those are lower numbers than you get from the other manufacturers. And I've talked a lot about whether it's a difference in how they rate it or if the Kubota and John Deere machines really do lift less, but you will consistently see on small tractors that Kubota and John Deere have less lift capacity. I've done an entire video talking about why that is, so I won't go back into it. So the machine we're looking at is an MX5400. Now the MX is the economy model from Kubota, and we have to keep that in mind because in this range, Kubota has an economy and a premium, where all of the tractors we've been looking at so far would be like the top of the line for that brand. Now, in pricing, the TY M574, which is the comparable machine, was $35,000. When we go to the LX357, that machine was $39,000. The Coyote model I just looked at was $42,000. So this tractor right here is $52,600. So you're going from $35,000 to $52,000 on this, and that's a difference of $17,000. I've already talked about it matters the quality of the machine and the dealer support and the fantastic insurance you get from Kubota, but it also matters what it costs. So these are just the raw numbers. So you're going up $17,000 to $52,000. But I talked about the John Deere model that I looked at. Realistically, it would be a 4052R, and that's going to come in at about $60,000, which is $8,000 more than the Kubota. But John Deere, I was looking at our model, which is premium. So I got a quote also for a premium cab model in this size from Kubota, and that would be the L5460, which they don't have here. But that's going to have more of your premium features. It's going to compare to the R model and the other tractors I've already looked at. But that's going to come in at $63,000. So from $35,000 to $63,000 is a difference of $28,000 in price. Now, I can come up with a lot of good things to say about the Kubota brand, but everyone has to make their own decision about you get what you pay for. I did a comparison the other day between a $1,700 chainsaw and a $250 chainsaw. Do you want to get the $250 saw and replace it in 5 years? Or do you want to get a steel and pay $1,700 and bank on the fact that that's going to last you the rest of your life? Well, that's the decision you got to make here. Is the John Deere name and the Kubota name, the John Deere dealer network and the Kubota dealer network, do those provide enough value for you to make that $20,000 jump in what you're paying for the machine? And nobody can answer that but you. It is a cool machine. It does have bigger tires. And one thing about the L model is it lifts 3,800 on the back instead of 2,800. But I'm not trying to be the judge and jury, just telling you what I see. So I appreciate you taking time to watch. Put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.